Alright, what is going on, my dudes? We are back here today with another full AQ run. So we're going to be bringing the OG god of AQ back in today, OG Wolverine. Now let me tell you something, I have always been so happy to have this guy up at rank 5 since I pulled him within the first 5 seconds of him being released into the game in that pre-release bundle way back when they released. I got super lucky and I pulled this guy as a 5-star. I took him right up to rank 5 and awakened him, and I've never looked back. But upon the release of Apocalypse in Mcoc, he has gotten so much better. When you make Wolverine a Horseman, he gets so much better, dude. It's actually like insane how good Wolverine gets. Legacy's been saying lately that he thinks that Wolverine as a Horseman is the best mutant in the game. Now, I don't personally agree that he's the best, but he's so good, dude. And you'll see in this video where I actually take a couple fights linked because I wanted to see how good he does with some pretty difficult nodes to see how good his regen stacks up and how insane those critical bleeds are. So you'll notice here that I kind of developed a new strategy for getting this evade charge, because you know I've done this there's only 3 variations, so I've done this variation like 3 to 4 times on YouTube now, and every time I always post a variation where I get completely wrecked in the beginning because I think it's funny, and you know, I record them all and I post the one where I just get completely wrecked, and then I have to regenerate with Corvus, blah 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 throughout the fights. But I came up with a new method here, where after they first throw their special attack and they have the unstoppable and the evade, I go in for a quick medium or light attack, and if they evade, well, then I can, you know, get the evade charge that way, and if they don't, oh well, I don't sweat it, alright? And it's made this whole variation of AQ a lot easier for me personally. So the global node in this one is Turn the Tide, so that's when like every 10 seconds the special attack number rotates, and that is the special attack that you can use, and you can't really use any other ones or else it'll do like no damage and have no ability accuracy, yada yada yada. But yeah, this is actually a very, very annoying global, to be honest. It's not necessarily difficult, but it's actually one of my least favorite ones, just because, I don't know, like sometimes if I'm using Ghost or Corvus and I'm at a special 2, I want to use my special 2, but I just have to wait until the number comes around. It gets annoying, but yeah, we have just Footloose in the first section, so that's not the hardest lane in the world at all. So we have this mutant here, so we're obviously bringing Apocalypse in against the mutant, so we can make Wolverine a Horseman, okay? Now, unfortunately, you know, I didn't get to use Wolverine for like every fight in this AQ, but I am going to use him for every fight that I could use him for, okay? So all section 1 is going to be all Apocalypse and Corvus just to set everything up, and then going forward we'll have a lot more Wolverine fights. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm just trying to bait out the special 2 from this Wolverine. It's not too difficult of a path, it's just you got to be ready for that unstoppable and that evade charge that they get. But aside from that, man, we're pretty much good to go. We'll basically be ending this fight here with this special 1 with all those debuffs racked up. Yeah, this should be the end of him just about. Yeah, come on, die from the poison. There we go. This was like last week at this point, so I don't exactly remember how all these fights went. But up next we have a Hulkbuster. We probably took this with Corvus, just to get that last, I guess we don't even need any charges here because we already have Tech, Avenger, and Evade. So yeah, this is just a quick nuke down fight with Corvus. Not the biggest deal in the world here. I'm just trying to bait out intercepts and bait out heavy attacks so I don't have to deal with his unstoppable here. If he were to toss off that special 2, not the biggest deal, we could just dex it and we're just going to run right through this guy. Now, I don't remember if I took Psylocke in this variation or not. I may have left it for phase, or I may have just blown right through it. I guess we'll find out in 2 seconds, and it's looking like I did take it. So this guy is going to have shock here, so it's just 30 seconds of shock, so theoretically speaking, I should come out of this fight at 100% health. You'll see I am sometimes taking this fight a little bit slower just to really milk that shock and get all the regeneration that I could possibly get. Yeah, so now I'm back at a full yellow bar, so that's always pretty dope. At this point, you know, Psylocke is pretty much dead. One more full combo, and that should be it. So yeah, man, so after Psylocke, we're going to move on to Section 2. Then in Section 2, I have Little League. So Little League is pretty much you want to use small and medium champions and do a lot more damage, and don't use large or extra large champions, or else I'm not going to have the best time there. So I'm going to use Corvus for Dormammu and just nuke through this guy here, because he has a bleed immune, so I'm not going to be wanting to use Corvus for this guy. I just want to get through Dormammu as fast as I possibly can, of course. I'm trying to build up to a special 2, but unfortunately I didn't make it in time. That's like, you know, it's what's annoying about this global, is that if you're using Corvus and you start off with the special 2 thing there, well, you know, you're gonna have to wait until the next one comes around pretty much. And yeah, I mean, Dormammu's not the worst defender out there, but it looks like, yeah, I wouldn't have killed him here, so I'm gonna have to wait for that special 2 to roll back around, and this is why it's annoying. It's just like an extra like 10-15 seconds or so that you don't really have to spend in the fight, but you end up spending it there to wait for that little number to come back. But anyway, man, now we finally get to bust out that Canadian guy here. We're gonna go over to Apocalypse, we're gonna put on the pre-fight, and we're gonna go in with Wolverine. Little League, enhanced abilities, lullaby, yada yada yada. Lots of nodes here, not the biggest deal, because we're gonna try and nuke this guy down as fast as we can with all those critical bleeds. Now keep in mind here, I have deep wounds at 0. I'm not running any deep wounds at all. So Wolverine benefits a lot from being paired with Apocalypse. Every time that he crits, there's a chance for one of his bleeds to, look at that, there's a chance for one of his bleeds to become a critical bleed. Look at that. So every time you see, oh my god, dude, oh dude, that's special 2. Oh, it's so nice, dude. It's so nice to see Wolverine putting in work in AQ Map 7, dude. So basically, Wolverine benefits a lot because he already is a regeneration god. We all know that. He has probably the best regen in the game at the end of the day at Sig 200. And also, he's going to be 100% resistant to the bleed as a Horseman, so there's going to be even more regeneration, and he's going to have a prowess, which is really, really good for his damage, because his damage is like, okay, it's kind of like, his damage is like borderline being really, really good. Like, look at this. That was good, man. That was like a 45k special too. But that damage is like borderline being really, really good, where the extra prowess, okay, the extra 50% prowess really boosts him up to like pretty solid damage, all right? So he's like right above the cusp of like the prowess actually helping him a bunch. So that's dope. Another thing is the ability accuracy that he gets, the plus 30% ability accuracy. You know, the way that Wolverine's regen works from his Sig is that it's based on like how much power you have, how much regen you get, but it's also based on like when you crit and when you attack the opponent. So having plus 30% of the took a little special 1 there, by the way. I forget that didn't happen. Just pretend like it didn't happen, I mean. But basically, when you're making Wolverine a Horseman, there's going to be an increased ability that regeneration is going to proc, and that's really, really good, man. It's pretty much going to keep Wolverine topped up at 100% throughout the entire quest, unless you do something silly like I'm about to do in Section 3, because I take a lot of stuff linked just to see if he can, and spoiler alert, he absolutely can. So we'll see how that regen stacks up, man, when we get there. But first off, we have this Emma Frost coming up here. So this Emma Frost also has Little League and something else, but it's not the hardest fight out there at all. Just a quick nuke down with Corvus. Yeah, just aggression, armor, and the Little League. So very, very simple fight here. It is the last link up on, who's the boss even? Was it a Nihilus or Sasquatch? I don't exactly remember who the boss was here. But yeah, just 2 more combos, and this girl here should be flushed right down the toilet, and we could possibly throw off a special 2 if we got to it. So yeah, when you're using Corvus, I find that when the number starts on 1, that's the best, because by the time you get to the special 2, there'll be a 2 there. But anyway, man, let's jump over to Section 3 now. So we have Colorblind, Strength in Numbers, and also no retreat here. So I wanted to take this completely noted here. So basically, the colorblind is gonna degenerate us in the beginning of the fight, and there's also gonna be a lot of no retreat damage as well. We want to see if we can make it through this fight here, you know, kind of relying on Wolverine's regeneration. Now, I don't expect to come out of this fight at 100% health. That would be a silly thing to expect, because, I mean, look at that block damage, because he has like a huge attack bonus from the link. But we want to see, we want to test out the critical bleeds. We want to see if the regeneration can keep up with the strength in numbers, and it absolutely can. Look at that, man, it's definitely keeping up, absolutely. And then we're going to, of course, take some no retreat damage as we have to, and we're going to see if our regeneration can keep up. Now, the opposing Wolverine is already just about half dead, and as you can see, man, the regeneration on our Wolverine is definitely keeping up with all of the chip damage. That was a huge special 2 that we just took on the block. Now, let's check out this regeneration. Look at this, man. Look at how it's just topping us up, dude. Now, if we weren't running the Suicide Masteries, it would look even more impressive because we wouldn't have the poison there to reduce the potency by 30%. But I'm very happy with the performance here, man. Like, this is literally all you need, and if this fight wasn't being taken linked, well, he'd be dead a minute ago, you know? Not a minute ago, but about 30 seconds ago. I think that Wolverine is doing very good for the circumstances. Look at this, we have a double regeneration now. Look at how much health we're just regenerating, dude. We just went up to 71%. We're just taking full combos on the block because we're gonna get that regen back. Super, super dope, dude. Really, really good stuff here. We have one more regen going, and it's kind of balancing out the no retreat a little bit. And, you know, unfortunately, we didn't get too great RNG with the critical bleeds, but still, man, we got that Wolverine down without too many issues at all. So up next, we have an Archangel here. This Archangel is completely unlinked now, so all it has is no retreat and heavy hitter. We're gonna go with Apocalypse just in case we need Apocalypse later on, so we can get some more of the charges. Okay, so this is just gonna be a pretty standard fight with Apocalypse here. Just gonna do a lot of parry heavies, make our way up to like special 1 if we can. If it happens to line up that way, that's probably what we'll do. Yeah, there is no retreat here, so we do want to be kind of cautious about, you know, dexing so we don't trigger too much of the degen damage, because we really don't want that to happen. Here, we should be able to use a special 1 unless I'm going to save up for a special 2, which it looks like that's the move that I'm going for here. One more heavy attack, I would imagine. Very, very nice. And then after baiting out this special 1 there, we should go for the special 2, and yes, we did. Now, funny enough here, you know, we put the concussion with the special 2, but Archangel is actually immune to ability accuracy reduction, so that concussion is not going to be placed on him. We went for the special 1 here, and I wasn't really thinking at the time. As you can see, that special 1 did almost no damage because the Turn the Tide was still on 3 at the time, but not the biggest deal in the world. This guy is dead right now. Only about 60 seconds, so not the biggest deal in the world there. Up next, we have this OG Vision, who we are, of course, going to be using Corvus for. This is no retreat, Power Start 1, and because of Power Start 1, it's pretty much going to bring this guy almost straight to SP3 at the beginning of the fight with Synthesis, so that's why we're going to be using Corvus here, so that we could pretty much tank a lot of the no retreat damage if we have to. Very often, I arrive at this guy at very, very low health, and I end up fighting him at 1% health, and just eat all of the no retreat damage just to play it very, very safe, alright? And I just let the Synthesis let him use his special attacks and just bait them out that way. But this guy was being pretty generous with me here, using the special attacks when I wanted him to, and yeah, you know, I decided just to block them all since I'm actually at 100% health here, and I was kind of waiting to get to that 1, but unfortunately, I pushed myself up to special 2, and the special 2 did almost no damage, but one more medium attack, and that is it. Flushed right down the toilet. We have one more fight here. We have this Buffet Hawkeye. Now, Buffet is not the best fight for Wolverine, but we're gonna go in anyway, man, because, you know, all those critical bleeds without any links active, well, we should do some nice damage, man. Look at this, we're getting some decent RNG here right in the beginning. After 1 combo, after 2 combos, let's say, he's down to 40% health. Look at that. Look at that, man. Get a nice little intercept there. We have some regens going. Oh my god, that was a 20-second fight. Really, really good stuff there from Wolverine, man. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with Wolverine's performance in this AQ session, dude. Like, I was really, really happy with it, to be entirely honest. Very impressive. Much, much better with Apocalypse. He's pretty decent on his own, but much better with Apocalypse. Yeah, man, if you happen to pull a Wolverine from this featured 5-star crystal, which would be really cool on its own, make sure you open some next round so you get that Apocalypse for him, man, because let me tell you, he is an absolute beast as a Horseman. Very, very impressive. Very, very good stuff. Anyway, my dudes, that's going to be it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop your boy a like. Comment what you think about Wolverine in AQ Map 7 in 2020. And subscribe if you want to see some more AQ videos coming to you very, very soon. I'll be seeing you around.